Well, we know everyone is talking about the COVID vaccine, but what are some things that viewers can do to boost their immune system? Joining me this morning via Skype is Dr. Eboni January to explain. Dr. January, can you tell us some of those things that people can do to boost their immune system?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Kelly. A couple of things. One, whether you're taking the vaccination or not, you should definitely be protecting your immune system, building your immune system. One of the things that's very, very beneficial is vitamin D. Many people, especially people who are subjective to the COVID vaccine, people who are succumbing to the COVID-19 disease, are people who have cardiovascular disease, people who have COPD, and vitamin D is very, very, very beneficial to those individuals. Many people know vitamin C because of the sun and because of bones, but there are many different benefits of vitamin D, and one of those things are your cardiovascular health.
Tell us more about the health and fitness, especially relating to those pre-existing conditions, especially during this pandemic.
Absolutely. So many people are still staying in the house, especially those who are susceptible to COVID-19. So with that being said, you still want to be able to get moving around the house. I'm one of those people who, I've had, if I'm not in the hospital, then I am at home. So the jump rope. I use the jump rope. I have it here with me. I travel with me. With me. I say to a lot of people that my vitamin D levels and my jump rope have really helped me quite a bit with regards to prevention. And my jump rope has actually traveled out of the country with me. So if you're at home and you can't get out, or if you don't want to go out, then definitely take a jump rope. I have resistance bands with me. I travel with those every place that I go. So people who have cardiovascular problems, COPD, any type of heart issues, you have to get moving, you have to get active. And if you are at home, then the jump rope and resistance bands they're very, very beneficial for you.
What about a balanced diet also? Very important.
Absolutely, a balanced diet. So especially people who have diabetes, for example, those are people who are more susceptible to COVID-19 infection and actually doing poorly if you do have COVID-19. So one of those things that you want to do is make sure that you have a balanced diet, that you're not, taking in too many carbohydrates. So people that I've seen historically who take in too many carbohydrates are people who don't eat enough. So they tell me that they eat once a day. So at the end of the day, they practically overload with carbohydrates. So you want to make sure that you're instituting those throughout the day. High protein diets, lots and lots of green vegetables, fresh or frozen if you have to, not necessarily in the can because of the preservatives, but you need to make sure that you're having high protein, green veggies in your diet, and you are implementing carbohydrates throughout the day, clean carbohydrates, like for instance, sweet potatoes, grits. If you're not putting all of the extras, those things are very beneficial for you, and you can implement those throughout the day in your diet.
Where can viewers go for more information about those pre-existing conditions, and if they would like more information about you giving us some advice?
Okay. One of the places obviously is the CDC website. CDC.gov is an amazing place. Also, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the different sites. And if you want to find out more about the vaccination, you can also go to the CDC website and you can look up the different research articles. I always like people to educate themselves on the different things that they're putting in their bodies, and that is food, and it's also the vaccination as well. But if you have any pre-existing conditions, you definitely want to take a peek at the website and learn your condition, learn what's most beneficial to you the natural way. And also, if you wanted to find out more information, more tips, you can visit my website. My TextFit website is listed, text-fit.com, and also if any type of protein, boschlifestyle.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. January, for joining us this morning with that valuable information. We'll also have that information posted on our website.